Jashawn Harris says, tricking on my favorite YouTubers again. I'm naturally good with women, but where do I start with y'all content on building and managing a great rotation? As far as I'm concerned, I have a course out called How to Master the Game. Jashawn, you've super chatted quite a bit here lately. I'll go ahead and give that to you for free. Send me an email at tsrdonovansharp.com and I'll go ahead and send that to you. That's a $267 value. Absolutely.
Can I answer that?
Say again?
Can I answer that question real fast?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Well, I was going to say, who else has anything on that?
I got a good answer for that too.
Okay, all right. So we'll go Hotep and then EO and then whoever else.
You don't manage your rotation. Your squad manages you. They got to figure out how to deal with you. You ain't got to figure out how to deal with them. You pick and choose when you put them in the game, right? But they have to earn that. Just like if I coach a team and a kid don't show up to practice,
right?
Well, guess who don't get in the game? You see what I'm saying? If they're not putting their best work forward, you got to reward your hoes. If they put in their best work forward, that's who you put in the game. Who's really out here trying hard in practice?
I love it.
If they trying hard in practice, they select themselves. You ain't got the work. You ain't got to do the work. You let them do the work. And you say, "Oh, I'm gonna reward you. You did a good job."
Yo, that was the comment of the night. You got to reward your hoes.
Hey, Don, did we hear Kevin on that last question?
Oh no, I totally.
Oh no, we skipped right over.
Yeah. So
go to Kevin.
Nah, you're good. You got me want to talk about the rotation now.
Okay. We'll go Savo and then EO on the rotation thing. What you got?
I'll just say this, man. From one young guy to any other young guys that are watching, I'll just give you a different spin on the rotation. Make sure when you're starting out building rotations, please make sure you don't spend too much time with any one of them, because I think some guys, I swear when guys are starting out, I think some of them think, as I thought when I was starting out building rotations, I swear some of them think that their attention is still divided evenly amongst two or three, even if they're spending excess time with one out of the three. And they think because of that, there still isn't an ability or a potential to build one-itis. Believe me, you could still build one-itis while having a rotation of 4 women. If you kind of make one your girlfriend, then there's a worst case scenario where you become attached to more than one. And then basically, instead of having a 3-girl rotation, you literally are dating 3 women. Now imagine actually dating 3 women that didn't agree to it, and you've got the competition going. Dude, I've had 2 girls show up at the house at once. I've had girls fighting at the crib. It's actually been disastrous. And my brother used to make fun of me because he used to be like, dude, you watch AMS, you learned how to build a rotation, and now the rotation's here. Like, and you're fucked, like, because you did it all backwards.
Jesus fucking
They're
Christ.
here, they won't leave, they're breaking shit.
Listen, what Kevin said there was very important. Do not spend too much time with any one of them. Real quick before I go to EO, the way this works, it's mathematically simple. Never ever give one woman 100% of your sexual attention. This means you need to be fucking more than one girl, because if you have one girl in your rotation, she's getting 100%. You're going to develop one-itis. I don't care how tight your game is. If you have 2 girls, they both get 50% of your sexual attention. If you have 3 girls, 33. 4 girls, 25, 5 girls, 26, 16.6666667, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The more girls you are banging, okay, the less likely you are to be attached to any one of them. And again, you need to limit your time with each one of them, because there are going to be some girls in your rotation that you like more than others, right? But you have to be disciplined enough to spend equal time with all the girls to keep yourself from catching one-itis.
Right. Let me stick one last thing in there before we go to the next guy real quick.
Yeah, sure.
Another thing that's really important about that also, big mistake I think guys will start out with early on, make sure they're all equally attractive, because that is another thing about not still developing one-itis. In other words, still having a beta problem while you're trying to make an alpha move, is you've got, and I've done it in my earlier years, you've got your 8, and then you've got 2 6s. And you're like, oh, look at me, I got a rotation. Okay, well, what is going to tend to happen, and what's going to tend to the effect it's going to have on your mind is you've got this one really bad chick, and then you got like 2 half-decent chicks in the background. You're still going to like kind of fall for the 8.
Of course.
It's they all got to be equally attractive, because then your attention is completely spread equally.
Wow. Sage words by the young Kevin Savo. EO, what you got on this, man?
You know what? My earbuds went out there. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Okay, I think I got you coming through the computer here, so I hope there is. I'll be sure to mute.
No, we hear you perfectly, man. What you got?
You know what? This is something that I learned, and I'm gonna, and I love what Kevin said, and Hotep. I'm gonna kind of just provide a different perspective here. A lot of guys want to manage rotations when they're not managing the man well yet. And so the number one thing you want to manage first is the self. Okay? You can't even manage women if you don't manage the self. Okay, so I'm letting you know that if you don't know how to manage the big three, mental, emotional, and spiritual self, you'll never ever be successful with any woman, especially a herd of them. So I just want to tell guys, how are you managing your finances? What's your credit score? Are you able to pay your own bills without ever needing a woman to come in to help you? This is what you need to be concentrating on. Sure, date in between. I would say when you're a young man in your 20s, they should be last on the list, but they should be on the list. But they should never come before your emotional health, your mental health, emotional health, spiritual health. You should be visiting seminars. You should hire one of these men as a mentor. This is very important. So before you're over here trying to manage women, do you even got your own place yet? Now that's not to say that's not to say though you can't have women without your own place. Sure. You most certainly can. But I'm going to advise, before you want to manage 1, 2, 3, 5 women, how are you managing the man in the mirror? And then once you start managing him exceptionally well, no one's perfect. You're never going to be 100% on anything. But as you get better, you're making good money. You're paying your bills on time. Your credit is good. Hey, no man can ever be confident with bad credit. I'm going to tell you something right now. If you got a credit score 535, your confidence only lasts so long until you walk into an establishment or retail store to maybe try to get something. So manage that man in the mirror first. See women on the side while you're doing it. But once you start to see, I can live without them. I don't need them. It's my way or the highway. And why it's my way is because my way is the proven best way. See, until you can prove it to yourself, you can't prove it to her. Okay. Wow. So I just want to say that this is probably hard advice for a lot of men because they're like, oh, I don't want to do all that work. But in the end, you're gonna lose them anyway, because you've lost you. You don't have you, and so in order to have them, you got to have you.
Very good. Let me chime in on that right now.
Real quick, we'll go BOA and Jap, and then after that, we'll read super chats. Then we'll go to Cody in New Orleans, who's on the line. Go ahead, BOA.
You know, I think one of the main problems that young guys have is they don't understand that if you're young and you're dating, all you're getting is sex.
Yes.
Now I'm gonna throw a pimp principle in here.
Okay.
Pussy ain't worth no cash unless it's bringing it to you.
Real talk.
Now your time is worth cash.
Yes.
Your effort and energy is worth cash. The skills that you learn are worth cash. So all of those things are automatically worth more than the woman, because all you're getting from the woman at that point is that one thing. Don't want more from her than that, because then your ass gonna be caught up in a relationship, and a broke dude has no business trying to give his effort and energy to a damn relationship. Man, they're too demanding, and you just don't have the energy, and you'll have nothing left, because there's only a certain level of respect a woman is gonna give a man who doesn't have his shit together. And I think a lot of you men fall into this, well, I'm going to build with the woman. No, hell you're not.
No.
Trust me on that. You're going to build with the woman, and she's going to flee with the shit. That's the only way it's going to happen. A woman doesn't build with you. A woman helps you build what she's going to fucking flee with. Wow. I just want you men to know that shit. So don't just stay away from it, man. Always prioritize the things in your life. Like EO was just saying, prioritize everything in your life and don't deviate from the plan that you know is going to put you where you need to be, unless you just want to be a beta male simp man John motherfucker.
well, we ain't trying to be that. Jap, what you got, man?
Man, I've always talked about this situation as far as having a rotation. It's a beautiful thing when you got your thing in order and everything like that. But and like on my Patreon, I have a video called how to choose your side chicks.
Okay.
And another one that another principle that I live by, I tell guys, stop letting side chicks catch main bitch feelings. That comes with time.
Okay.
And hold on, whoa! You can't glaze over that point.
Do it.
And this comes with time. And I tell people that love usually equates to time. You'll fall in love with somebody you never thought you would ever be in love with because you've been around them too much.
That's right.
A lot of people don't understand that rotations have a lifespan. They have an end date.
Yes.
Yes. You keep these women. I've had side chicks that lasted 3 girlfriends. She still was a side chick.
God damn.
Like, call myself like, man, I love you, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And you have got to understand that you cannot have these women in rotation for too long. They have a shelf life. They got to get traded. You know what I'm saying? They have 2-year contracts, 1-year contracts. Some of you guys have a rotation going on. Now you got 3 girls in love with you because you got all of this time, all of these things and events that have happened, all of these guys that she has put on the back burner, hoping to get the main spot. This is when shit gets real. Cars get keyed.
Yes.
Windows
Sabotage.
get broken. Emotions are flaring because you've been in it too long. So you got to understand that it has a shelf life for the rotation. See, some people think you're not going to have a rotation for 5 years.
No, hell no.
Anybody who tells you that has never been in this shit. They're lying. Your rotation lasts 6 months, if that, because it's always while you're playing games with a broad and you know you playing her position. She still got some dude named Lance at her job that's with her. And
Lance.
the moment, and she's going to say, and this is the thing that you guys don't understand, because I've been there, they don't never talk about that. You get that call that say, what are we doing?
Oh, boy.
What are we?
Yes.
How do you respond?
Oh,
You
now,
just my
Jeff.
side bitch. And if you tell her she just a side bitch, then she out. But if you blasé with her, she'll stick around, and then she's going to go crazy on your ass for the guys that she turned down